My name is Shabas. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to use our new plugin, Generate Multi-Artifact Information in Urban Code Deploy. So here's my Urban Code Deploy application. If you're seeing Urban Code Deploy for the first time and wondering what Urban Code Deploy is, well, Urban Code Deploy is an amazing tool for automating application developments for your environments like production environment, SIT environment, UAT environment, and so on. It is designed to facilitate rapid feedback and continuous delivery in agile development. Also, Ubuntu Deploy is packed with lots of features. Some of them are audit trails, versioning, and approvals handling for your production deployments. For the new plugin, Generate Multi-Artifact Information, if I had to describe it in one sentence, it would be one step to generate them all. So let's see what's different about the new plugin. For starters, now we can replace all the older generate artifact steps in the component process design with a single step of new plugin. To differentiate between each artifact information and their respective filters, we decided to accept inputs now in JSON format. So we'll see to that. Another highlight of this plugin is now we have freedom to decide name of an output property based on its purpose. And last but not least, we will see an additional output property with postfix-count for each user-defined output properties. This is to give us the count of artifacts selected based on the filter conditions. So let's see a demo. So for our demo purpose, I have created a sample component called blanket component. So if I open this blanket component, you can see I have some processes here. So we'll be looking at this process, that is deploy with regular generate artifact. Let me just open it in a new tab. So while it open, let's see for the version that I'm going to use for our demo. I have created a version called test01v1. As you can see, it is having some 14 members in 7 datasets. If I expand them all, you can see some members as well here. Now let's see the process design. So this is our deploy with regular generate artifact. As you can see, the first step is download artifact followed by deploy datasets. Then we have the generate artifact information steps. As you can see, we have 3 steps for different purposes. One to generate bind card, another to get JSON members list, and another one for new copy kicks programs. Later we are just joining them, then submitting the bind job, doing new copies, then replacing tokens in JSONs. So for our demo purpose, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this existing design and just convert it into a new design with our new plugin. So let's copy this. I just copied this. So it got copied. Let me just paste all. I just paste it all. Let me just open in a separate tab. So this will be our newer design with only one step. Let's see how it looks like. Before that, let me just go into configuration and change this into deploy with new generate artifact. Save this. So we are back to the design. Let me just delete all the existing steps here. We don't need the join step as well now. I just connect these two. Now let's pull our new plugin. I just type multi here and you could see here generate multiple artifact information. I'll just drag and drop it between deploy datasets and bind job. Let's try to name this step as artifact info as for now. So let's try to migrate all our older generate artifact steps to our newer plugin. For that, I am going to open the older design and I'm just going to see what are the values that currently we are using and just add it there in the newer plugin. So let's start with the first one. So let's start with the template. So here, as you can see, this is a bind job card. So we just copy this bind card template and go to the newer design. In the newer design, again, we are accepting the inputs as a JSON format. So how do I pass it as a JSON format? So let me just delete the existing template value, which is default. Then For JSON, it's quite simple. We just start the JSON with a flower bracket and then close it with a flower bracket. Then in between, we just use some small indentation for better readability. Then we can pass the value as a key value pair. So key should be in double quotes, then again a hyphen, then the value. So in our case, the value is bind card. So this is our value. For key, it can be anything. It's up to us. So for our purpose, I'm just naming it as bind card. So that's it. So this is our JSON format. So we had just migrated the value of template into our new plugin. So let's see how do we pass the other inputs as well. So just template is done and there are no other filters. We have one filter, container name filter. I'm just going to copy this, going to new design here. So this template is done. I will just save it. And again, I had to go under container name filter JSON. Again, starting the JSON with the flower brackets, then indentation, key, colon, and a value. So value is the same thing that we just copied. And the key has to be the same to the one that we just defined in the template, which is our bind card, and it is case sensitive. So this is done. I have saved this. So that's it. We just completely replaced our order plugin with the inputs. Let's try to move other steps as well. I'll go with the GSL members list, go with the template first. I'll just copy this template, go under this process design and go under templates here. So to pass another key value pair, we just had to separate it with a comma. You can give an indentation for better readability, then key colon value. So for value, it's the same thing that we just copied. For key, again, it's up to us to decide the name. Since it is a JCL list, I will just name it as JCL list. Then save. Let's copy other inputs as well. We have only one container filter. I will just copy this and go to our container filter. We already have one. We just had to add another one here. We'll just separate it with a comma, then a key value. Value will be the same. For key, it has to be the same to the one that we just used in the template, GCL list. Just save. Let's try to copy the last one as well. Again, if we go to the template here, we have only member comma. I just copy this and I go to the template here to add another key value pair. Again, we separate it with a comma, key colon and value. Value will be the same thing that we just copied, and key, let's name it as kicks programs. So all these keys that we defined here are gonna be our output properties. So we'll see that when we run this step. Let's just save this. Then in container filter, let's see if there are any filters here. There are no filters. Oh, okay, we have some container filters here. I'll just copy this. Again, to add the container filter, we just say key colon and value. Value will be the same thing that we just copied. Key will be the same thing that we just defined, which is kicks programs. Let's save this. So that's it, like half of the job is done now. Now if I see the older design now, you might be referring the output properties of each step with a notation. If I open the bind job here, you can see here I give dollar flower brackets p property colon. I give the step name followed by a text, which will be our output property. So what we gonna do here is we're gonna do the opposite. We're gonna keep the step name as constant, but we're gonna change this slash value. It's gonna be bind card, it's gonna be JSL list, or it's gonna be kicks programs. So let's see. So for our purpose, the step name is this. I'll just copy this step name. I'll just save this. So it's saved. I'll just open our bind job here. As I said, now the step name remains same. So it will be the newest step name. My bad, I copied the wrong value. Let me just copy. So this is my step name. I will just paste it here. So this is my new step name. Now the output property will be the property that we define as a key, which is bind card. I just save this. That's it. So you have completely migrated your first step. It is that simple. Let's just do it for the other steps as well for new copies. I'll just go here and I have a reference here. Now it won't be this name, it will be just artifact info, but the output property will be the key, which is kicks programs. I'll just save this. Let's say okay. Again for replace token as well, we just had to replace the step name here, and this text will be now JCL list, which is our key that we defined. So rest all remains same. You don't have to change anything here. I'll just save this. Now I have a sample application here, which is blanket app. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run this component process from this application. For that, I'm just going to my process. So I have a process with the regular generate artifact. I'm just going to copy it. Just copy this. So this is copied. I'm just going to edit this one and try to point to our new process design that we just did. It will be with new generate artifacts. Yeah, this will be our step. Just say okay. I'll just try to change this name as well, this process design. Before that we had to save this. Okay, let me save configuration. I'll just name it as new with new gen artifact. Let's save this. So we are done. Now we can run our application deployment. So I will just go with the system testing here. I'll just raise a request. I'm going to select the process that we just created, which is deploy with new generate artifact. I'll say next. I will just uncheck this one for a demo purpose. For version, let me just try to add our version test01v1. This is our version. And then I say next, next, and submit the deployment. So it's running here. As you can see, this is our new design, like only one step. You can see here artifact info. So instead of 3 steps, now we're just running in 1 step. That saves a lot of time and CPUs. So download step ran fine. Now we are in deploy dataset step. Let's see. So once that is done, we're gonna see the artifact step. And another thing that I want to discuss here is the output property that we additionally going to add, which is -count. So we'll see. So deploy datasets also ran fine, and our artifact step ran fine in just 5 seconds. That's great. So let's open the log and see what happened. So we have passed these inputs, and for kicks programs we just got some 2 counts, which is only these 2 programs. Let me just pull my version. So this is my version. If I see here, the filter is to see for all the containers which are having some kicks and load in the naming. If I expand this, you can see only 2 members are there, and the same 2 members are seen here, carp001 and scrn001. Now I will just scroll down, and for bind card again we got 2 counts. One is carp001 and carp patch, so we got 2 bind cards. For GCLs again we got 2 counts. One is GCL CBDB2 and GCL COPL. If I see the version, if I check my DBRMs, you can see 2 members. Okay, we are good. And for GCL again we have only 2 GCLs here, so we are good. So this is the output. Let's see the output properties for this step. If I go here, input output properties, I go to output property. Now you can see the output property name is bind card, the one that we are referring now in our post processing steps. So this one will have this value. And as I said earlier, we are going to have an additional property with a postfix-count. This will have value 2 since only 2 members got selected. If there are no DPRMs in your step, then this value will be 0, and probably you can use a switch to check if that is 0 and just skip that bind job. I will show that how the design looks like. Let me just see how the post processing steps ran. So this bind job ran fine. If I open this, so it got substituted correctly, this bind card, and it ran fine. So similarly other steps also ran fine. Let me just quickly open a sample design process to show how the count can be used, -count. So this is one sample design. I have this generate artifact step here running, and what I have done is I have just used a switch. So this is my switch step. If what I have done is I just refer this property artifact info slash bind card -count, and just simply checking the value. If the value is 0, that means I don't have any DVRMs. I'm just going to skip this bind job and just going proceeding with the next step or next checks. If there is a non-zero value, then I'm just going to the default one and just running the bind job. There are a couple of caveats and trade-offs in the newer plugin. So let's see what are they. If I open our older plugin here, you can see we have some inputs called for each and order by. Now if I see the newer plugin, we have the same inputs for each and order by. But what if you're using different order bys across different steps? Then for our newer plugin, it will be same for all the filters that you are applying. It will be either order ascending order or the descending order or shift list order. So this might create some unexpected output from your older plugin. Another caveat that I want to discuss is there is an input called fail on empty. So this, if you check this fail on empty, what will happen is if there are no selections with the filter, the step will do a failure. How we are going to do in our new step? It's quite simple. So we don't have any fail on failure step here, as you can see. But what we can do is we can utilize the -count value that I just showed. So if I open a process design, let me just open a process design here. So this is our process design. What we can do is, like, there is a option to set status. You can just take this and drag it here. For example, what you can do is if this value is 0, then what you can do is you just set the status as failure, then it will just fail. So this is one alternative that you can use if you have that option enabled, like fail on empty option is enabled. One last thing that I want to highlight is there are some special characters we had to take care of in JSON format. So we have some two special characters. Those are double quote and a backslash. So if you have a double quote inside your filter or a template, then it has to be replaced with a / plus your double quote. Similarly, if you have a backslash, we had to add extra backslash to it to escape the character. Let me show you how we do that. So I have my new plugin here. So I will open my template JSON. Let's say in my older template, I have it this value, library value with double quotes. Then this has to be escaped, adding a backslash to it. So similarly, we had to do the same if we already have a backslash in our template or in our filter. That's it for this video. Have a nice day. Goodbye.